When you walk through a storm, it is Anfield Agenda time. Craig is set for the day and the news. Sit back and relax, grab a coffee and chill, and enjoy the shenanigans tonight. Anfield Agenda. Anfield Agenda. YNWA. Anfield Agenda. Time for Craig to tell it straight. Watch-alongs to fill your day. Make to subscribe and stay. Up the Reds, up the Reds. Oh, oh, ooh. Oh, oh, ooh. Oh, oh, ooh. Oh. Anfield Agenda. Anfield Agenda. YNWA. Anfield Agenda. Time for Craig to tell it straight. Watch-alongs to fill your day. Make to subscribe and stay. Up the Reds, up the Reds. Oh, oh, ooh. Oh, oh, ooh. Oh, oh, ooh. Oh, 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 Anfield Agenda. Anfield Agenda. YNWA. Anfield Agenda.
How are we? Not too shabby a day. Didn't kick a ball today. We didn't do anything, but we still stayed top of the league because Arsenal, well, they went to the Vitality and they lost by 2-0 to Bournemouth. Not only did they lose, but they also had Saliba sent off, which means, that he's not going to be around for the game against us next weekend, unless by some absolute miracle that's overturned, which it won't be because, it's clear. It was a foul. There's no overturning that one. Look, I know the Echo. I'm here to help the Echo out as always because, it doesn't seem like they're able to help themselves, so I'll do it for them. It's a 1-game ban, gentlemen. The Echo and Fabrizio Romano seem to think it's a 3-game ban for Saliba, but it's a 1-game ban. So at least he's only out for 1 game, Arsenal fans, right? But it is a big game nonetheless. Looks like no Odegaard as well against us. Saka wasn't in the squad today. And this is what we keep talking about with injuries in a title race, especially when you're going up against a monster, a machine like that Manchester City machine. So I should probably be sitting here with some sympathy for our Arsenal friends because we've been in that position, right, where every point dropped is a mountain. But they haven't exactly been very likeable over this season so far, apart from a good friendly Gunner, of course. But look, I know how this works at this point. I come on, we laugh at Arsenal. People then moan about me if we lose tomorrow. It's my fault suddenly. And you know what? I don't care. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to enjoy these moments, to celebrate our wins. But look, there's no way that I'm not going to come on here tonight and just enjoy it. Enjoy it because it's a nice, pleasant surprise. I did not expect Arsenal to drop any points against Bournemouth, let alone to lose and have a man sent off. Ironically, now Liverpool have conceded less goals in the Premier League this season than Arsenal have conceded red cards, which is another mad stat, but there you go. So look, it does set up tomorrow magnificently well, doesn't it? Liverpool taking on Chelsea at Anfield, a massive game. If we can win this, I hope the media start to show us a little bit more respect, because the way they were going on, we'd played nobody so far this season, and, it would all come a cropper when we start playing decent teams. Well, I think Arsenal and their fans got a reminder today that You can't count your chickens in the Premier League. There's a reason why we talk about it being the most competitive league in the world, because if you're not at it, if you're 10% off, or if you get a player sent off, it's difficult, especially when you're against a team like Bournemouth who have their tails up at that point and want your scalp, because Arsenal are right up there with Liverpool and Man City as the teams being spoken about to maybe go and win the league. So, yes, enjoy it, my friends. Enjoy it, because why not? Why not? It's Saturday. Let's have a bit of fun with it. Stevie boy, first super chat of the night. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Somebody said in the chat, Craig loves the Echo. Do you know what? I'm just playing a little game with the Echo because they ignore us. So if we have David Lynch on the channel, you'll see it picked up on almost every other platform and the conversations that we have with them, but they just ignore us. So I'm going to go the opposite route. I'm going to keep reminding them of all their mistakes and all the shit things that they do, and eventually, hopefully, I can raise the standards of the Echo for them. So you're all welcome, very, very much so. Stevie Boy said, all that matters is that Liverpool beat Chelsea. Yes, and look, that is something that is in our hands, mate, and that we have to sort out tomorrow. And it isn't going to be an easy game. Like, I'm not writing off Chelsea by any stretch. I'm expecting this to be a difficult game tomorrow. But it's good knowing that no matter what else happens, we're going to be in the top 2 positions at the end of the weekend. If we win, we're top of the league. Obviously, Manchester City taking on Wolves at Molineux tomorrow. I would expect that they win that. But as we've seen today, you've still got to go about and do your job, right? And nobody thought Arsenal were dropping points out to Vitality today. Well, certainly I didn't anyway. Right, Maka healthy. It looks as though he will be available for tomorrow, Samuel. Yes, so going into tomorrow, the real doubts around the game, maybe Chiesa, obviously Elliott's out, Alisson's out. And actually, on Alisson, Arne Slot was speaking a little bit, and this, I think, came out in the embargoed stuff yesterday. Said, I expect him to be back before Christmas, yes, but you never know. It's always difficult to know how an injury will go in the first stages, so we can answer that question better in 2 or 3 weeks' time. Again, totally understandable from the gaffer there. And as he mentioned himself, and I think we covered it in our video this morning, that he's used to a keeper that had muscle injuries and strains. Biglow at Feyenoord was constantly out. So yeah, let's try and figure this one out. I want to talk to you a little bit about Darwin Nunez as well, by the way, for a second, because the reports come out today from Sport Witness who say Darwin has a weight on his shoulders at Liverpool after losing his guardian, Jurgen Klopp. In Uruguay, they feel he's not being given a fair chance under Arne Slot. So I thought maybe we could have a conversation about that, because I think Darwin Nunez needs to pull his socks up, and I think Arne Slot has every right to look at Diogo Jota and think he's the one that he wants starting, because quite simply, Darwin hasn't taken enough of his opportunities. And one thing that we don't know, and the Uruguayan FA or the Uruguayan media don't know, is what Arne Slot has seen on the training pitch. So I get that they said that Klopp was his guardian, but ultimately he's a professional athlete at a top club looking to win trophies. It's up to Darwin to put the performances in, to convince the manager that he's undroppable, that he's exactly what the manager needs. So he has the chance to do that. But I just want to ask, do you guys think maybe Darwin's being harshly treated by Arne Slot and not getting more starts? So guess what the first poll of the night's going to be? So let me just get this one drawn up for you. One second, folks. Right, so simple question. Is Darwin being treated harshly by Slot? You know, reports in Uruguay suggest he is. I want to see how you guys feel about it. Ella, how are you? I was thinking of you earlier on, actually, Ella. I'd seen Coventry had lost 1-0, if my memory's not wrong. Hey, Craig, hope you're well. Shells to win the league, Bows in the relegation battle. I don't like this. Do you know what, though, Ella? You can't begrudge me a little bit of Shells happiness, because we went down through the... I say we, that's me glorifying it, but yeah, Shells went down and came back up. And look, 2 tough games to go. Derry City, Shamrock Rovers, I think, as well. Or Drogheda and Derry City on the last day of the season. So it could be Rovers that ends up pinching the title. But it is good. And do you know what? I wish well for Duffer as well. I hope that Damien Duff can hang on there and get that league title. It'd be a great achievement. Diogo was hard to keep out of the squad. I think he's justified. More clinical than Nunez at MH10. Craig, what's the lineup for tomorrow? So, again, I would imagine if all is fit, there's two decisions to make. Gakpo or Diaz on the left and Darwin or Jota through the centre. So I had a go at my team selection earlier on in the week and I went for Kelleher, Trent, Robbo, Kanade, Van Dijk, Gravenberch, McAllister, Soboslai. Obviously, if McAllister's not fit, probably expecting Jones to go in there. Endo was ill, so we'll wait and see what's up with him. Then up top, I went for Gakpo over Diaz just because of the freshness of it, not because I don't think Diaz has been great. On the right, obviously, Mohamed Salah, and I went with Diogo Jota through the middle. That's my guess at a prediction for a starting 11. Soren, how are you, my friend? Appreciate your super chat, mate. Really do. Thank you so much. Right. Someone said I'm lagging again. Not on my end. On my end, it's coming through stable. So, if it is lagging, it isn't me this time. Craig, as always, you're a legend. Really hope we get to win tomorrow and Wolves outperform themselves. Look, I'm not expecting much from Wolves tomorrow, but let's wait and see what happens. Let's wait and see. Now it's lagging. Now I can see a little bit of a lag coming up for a second. Anyway, sorry, let's get back to the chat anyway. So, Soren, I hope you enjoyed tonight's thumbnail. It was just meant as a bit of fun, of course. I'm not that arrogant that I think Liverpool are going to piss the league, but it was meant as just a little bit of fun. Because you know that about this channel, we don't take ourselves too seriously. And as I mentioned at the very start of the stream, we should be enjoying days like today, because rivals dropping points means a lot to us. Now, we've got to capitalise on that tomorrow and go out there and hopefully try to beat Chelsea, but for now, enjoy it. It's Saturday night and we've got something to enjoy. By the way, I want to give a little shout out to Lee Gunner for a second, if I may. Going to do something with Lee during the week ahead of the game, but he sent me a lovely voice note again last night, and Anthrob, who was over in Lee's place with him. So much love to those two gents. He always sends me lovely voice notes and always checks in on me as well. So much love to Lee and his channel, and of course to Anthrob as well. Did FSG put Liverpool up for sale? No. And I've been saying this for a while, mate. I don't know where some of these stories have come from about FSG putting the club up for sale, but I've not seen anything to suggest that it's up for sale, nor have I read anything, heard anything. No. I think, as they've said themselves, when's the last time they sold one of their assets? Right, I'm going to just remind you guys really quickly as well. We are now less than a month out from the live show. Somebody was actually surprised today when I told them it was only about 3.5 weeks away. So if you want to come and see us in Liverpool, you can get your tickets with the link pinned to the top of the chat or in the description of the stream. What's the situation with Trent? Again, we've got no confirmation. But what I will say is, whether it's false bravado or whether it's justified, there is a lot of confidence on the Madrid side of this. Now, I would always say, take anything that comes out of the Spanish side around any type of a transfer with a massive pinch of salt. But like I've always tried to say, also always tried to say, it doesn't help when we haven't got it sorted either. So I'm not aware of any change in the development with regards to Trent, but of course we wait to see what the club do on this one. And look, every day that goes by, I know it's another day we're all frustrated, but at this point, there's nothing else I can add to this conversation. I don't have anything new on it. I think Trent's situation is a fluid one at this point. I don't think it's decided one way or the other. Do I watch Outer Banks? No, never heard of it, mate. Just joined. I find it funny people say we've played nobody yet we beat the mighty Bournemouth. I know, I was saying that Morganski earlier on, bro. It is a bit mad, isn't it? A lot of the pundits and media are saying we haven't played anyone. But then again, we lost to... who was it we lost to again? Who was it we lost to? Wasn't it Ipswich, was it? No, that was first game of the season. Who was it that beat us? Forest, was it? We lost one game anyway. I think it was Forest, yeah. And then... we heard, they've played nobody yet, waiting they play somebody hard. But then again, Arsenal goes and loses today to Bournemouth. And it just shows you, Premier League it's a tough league. You've got to be at it every single week, especially away from home. So, Yeah, look, I took that as a really pleasant surprise, Arsenal dropping points tonight. Even a draw would have been a bonus, but to lose, to have Saliba sent off, meaning he's unavailable for our game next Sunday, I'll take that as a win. Arthur Smith, thank you, bro, for your super chat. Very kind of you. Arthur said, I'm an FSG out guy myself, but we may have dodged the bullet on Calafiori. So, I'm mixed on Calafiori. I look at him sometimes, Arthur, and I think he looks brilliant. And other times he can look a little bit flustered. But overall, I think he's a good player. And remember, he's still got a lot of developing to do as well. So look, I'm not going to sit here and say we dodged the bullet. But, you know, as somebody who's not an FSG fan myself, you know, I do always question the lack of spending there in the transfer market. But I'm trying to stay away from my FSG stuff for the minute because I'm waiting to see how the contract situation plays out, because I'm trying to be fair about it all. I know people that want me coming on night after night, week after week, just moaning about FSG. Apologies on the lagging. It's weird because it's not showing at my end, so all I can do is apologise. Apologies. I'm just giving it a second there to allow everyone to maybe refresh it. Yeah, apologies on that one. Cool. So, Rachel, thank you for gifting a membership, Rachel. Appreciate you. It's very frustrating because I'm at the behest of Sky on the broadband, obviously, and we're waiting for a technician to come and put a new box outside the house, which is kind of outside Sky's control as well. So yeah, it is frustrating. Trust me, I hate lagging as well because I want to obviously get into a rhythm on here and chat with people. So all I can do is apologise if anybody suffers a lag, but all I can do is plough on through. So look, let's check in on the poll anyway. Is Darwin being treated harshly by Slot? 73% now of you guys say no, and 27% say yes. And I don't think he is. I don't think he's been harshly treated one bit. I think he just hasn't taken his opportunities, and it's up to him. You know, I don't like this self-pity stuff. It's time to get out there and prove that you should be starting week in and week out, because it's probably one of the two positions, I would say, in the starting 11 that is up for grabs. You know, you can make an argument on the left side between Lucho and Gakpo, depending on what you like. And after that, I think the centre-forward spot's the only other one that isn't nailed down if everybody's fit. So for me, right now, up to him. Up to him to figure it out. And if he doesn't, I mean, I don't think he's got anybody else to blame, quite frankly. He's been up and down his whole time at Liverpool. People have tried to stick with him. Even when he was throwing his toys out of the pram and, you know, going off social media and whatever, people still tried to stick with him, give him the benefit of the doubt. Travelling cop at Anfield, always singing his name. You know, it's up to Darwin now to deliver. He came with a big price tag and a big expectation. Up to him now to put it right. Craig, hope you're good. I hope Salah, Nunez, Diaz start tomorrow. I don't know if I'm expecting Darwin to start, to be honest with you. But look, as I've always said, we have a great collection of forwards. So whatever three Arne Slot decides to put out there, hopefully they get the job done. Darwin probably goes to Arsenal in the summer. I find it very difficult to imagine that we would sell him to Arsenal, Brandon, to be honest with you. Because can you imagine, we did send him to Arsenal and he did do well, and Arsenal went on to win a league title. That's not going to sit well with our owners, is it? So, yeah, I can't see that happening. FSG won $7 billion for the club to buy the NBA club. I don't think... So, do you know what, Justin? I'm going to be really honest. I don't know. But I would say that they'd be able to access the money to buy the NBA club without having to sell Liverpool, to be perfectly honest with you, mate. I think they'd be able to finance what they'd need there without having to sell Liverpool. So, I don't know. I've no idea. And look, I guess the question is, if that story is true in any way, shape or form, who is it going to be that's going to buy us? There's no simple answer that I can see here. If you're saying it's going to be Saudi, well, then they've got to get rid of Newcastle. They've got to get approved to buy the club and then see what happens. But, I just don't see it at the minute. I just don't see anything shaping up for a sale. Although, I'm not going to lie and say I wouldn't like different owners. I would, purely on the transfer stuff, because I think FSG are cheap. They're not the worst by a long stretch. They've done good stuff. But they just don't seem to have the appetite to want to go and win for me. That's where I'm at with it. Do you think Macca starts tomorrow even if he isn't 100% fit? It's such a difficult one, Jason, because obviously we've got a big game tomorrow against Chelsea. Then we travel over to Germany to take on Leipzig in the Bundesliga, of the Bundesliga in the Champions League. And then we've got another massive game against Arsenal now next weekend. So you don't want to be taking chances with McAllister because, playing him tomorrow, if there was any doubts and he picked up a knock, well, then that's going to affect us through 2, 3, 4, 5 games. So it's a tough call. It's a tough call for Arna, but we'll have to wait and see what tomorrow brings. Weird shout, but would you take Zaire Emery? I haven't watched enough of him, Sam. I don't really pay much attention to the PSG games, mate. So I haven't really watched much of him. Alex said, just cheap. That's all that's wrong with them. Well, not all that's wrong with them, Alex. There was the Super League stuff, bro. We can't forget that as well. Joanne said, hi, Craig. How are you and your family? Love the channel. We're good, thank you, Joanne. Yeah, my daughter's down at Loco Bingo or something it's called. Some mad bingo down in Wexford. So yeah, my daughter's out. My son's upstairs playing his computer. Sabrina's, I think, going to have a bath. And I'm sitting here talking to you beautiful people. So yeah, all good, Joanne, thank you. Hope life is good with you. Have we laughed at Arsenal yet? Oh, we have, yes. We have, Dave. We have. We've definitely had a little chuckle at the... there was one tweet that was sent to me that somebody posted up to say, I think if we could go to Anfield and not lose to Liverpool, we could go invincible this season. How's that working out for you, lads? How's that working out? Did it work out well? Are we looking at an invincible season? Or are we looking up at Liverpool? Yeah, we're looking up at Liverpool, aren't we? Which is... it's a nice position for us to be in. Now look, I'm not going to sit here and say league's on, we're going to win the league. A lot of football left to be played. And tonight's thumbnail was absolutely tongue-in-cheek. But as I said at the start, let's have a bit of fucking fun. It's Saturday night and the Reds are top of the league. Let's have a laugh about it. Let's have a bit of fun. V. Aaron, welcome to Anfield Agenda Ultras, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Anakin Skywalker, how are you, bro? Said, my monthly message to manifest us to get Gyökeres. Well, it'll be interesting to see if Ruben Amorim does indeed depart Sporting and takes Viana's pathway and follows him to Manchester City next season if Pep leaves. It'll be interesting to see what Gyökeres done because, he was the reason, Amorim, that Gyökeres went to Sporting Lisbon. So, it'll be an interesting one to see. This is Darwin's make or break season, so for me, I'm not thinking centre forwards yet, but if he doesn't do it this season, then I think we have to start having the conversation about Liverpool looking at another number 9. Wednesday's game harder than tomorrow's? Look, Leipzig currently top of the Bundesliga. I think they're both difficult games in all honesty. I don't want to pick which one might be harder, but the next 3 games for us are all tough games. Chelsea, Leipzig, and of course Arsenal at the Etihad next weekend. Christian, lovely to see you, my friend, as always, and thank you for your 13-month membership on the channel, Christian. Said, I'm looking forward to the match tomorrow. I'm a bit nervous. I think it's perfectly natural, bro, to be nervous around a difficult game like Chelsea. Historically we've had close games with Chelsea, so I'm quietly confident, but I don't want us to start slowly. So yeah, let's wait and see. So on this, actually, I don't know if you guys seen this, but Mainz supporters turned on Jurgen Klopp with some damning banners today. There's a write-up about this on the Echo. The reception in Germany from Dortmund and Mainz fans towards Jurgen has been extremely damning, extremely toxic, and extremely disappointed, I think it's fair to say. And obviously we don't have the same disdain for the Red Bull brand of clubs that perhaps they do in Germany towards Leipzig and of course Hoffenheim, who are another club I believe whose owners kind of circumvented the 50+1 rule, or at least they aren't looked upon fondly in Germany. And it's been really disappointing to see the reaction towards Jurgen Klopp's move towards the Red Bull coaching system, or the Red Bull position that he's taken up in January. I get it though. I have to say, I get it. I'm not feeling that way as a Liverpool fan. You know, I don't have that same inbuilt detest of what Red Bull have done in Germany, because it's not our league, obviously. It's not the one that I follow. But, you know, am I tad disappointed? Maybe a little bit with Jurgen, but I love him. And nothing's ever going to change that for me. So I'm certainly not expecting to see anything like that echoed by Liverpool fans that we've seen in Germany from Mainz and Dortmund and stuff. Arthur Smith, how are you, my friend? And again, thank you for another super chat, mate. You're very kind. Said, was watching Curtis TV, an Arsenal creator, watch along. Gunners fans starting to turn on Arteta, won FA Cup on a team he didn't build. Do you know, Lee Gunner's never been a real supporter, if my memory's right, of Mikel Arteta, even in the good times. But you know what? If we're going to be fair about this, Arthur, and I think we should be, I think he's right to be under a bit of pressure. You know, because Arsenal have improved under Arteta. I think most of us will agree on that one. And they certainly are thought of now as top 4 nailed on every season, pretty much. But you are right, man. They have to start delivering trophies. And not an FA Cup or a League Cup. They have to get one of the big ones. If they don't deliver a Premier League or a Champions League with the money that they've spent and the investment the owners have made with Arteta and that squad, yeah, it is absolutely right to feel like he's underachieved. You know, say what you did about Jurgen, and we had many near misses, but he delivered. He delivered a European Cup. He delivered 3 European Cup finals. He delivered a Europa League final. He delivered a League Cup, two League Cups, an FA Cup, a Super Cup, a Club World Cup. So Arteta has to pony up now. And the media, the English media, the very London-centric media, need to start saying, you know, when is that expectation going to start to cause them problems? Because I don't feel they're going to win the Champions League. I'm not going to write them off in the league just yet, but they've shown they're vulnerable. So yeah, let's wait and see. Christian, thank you, bro, for gifting 5 memberships. Very kind of you indeed. Oh, this is so lovely. Thank you, mate, for sharing. Our firstborn came home today. New little Liverpool fan. Oh, that's so awesome, mate. Thank you so much. If you want to... Do you know what? The Striking Viking, can you email me your address? And I'd like to send them over a little Anfield Agenda mug just to say, welcome to the world and welcome to the Liverpool family, mate. So if you could drop me an email, contact@anfieldagenda.com. I'll send you over a little mug just to say welcome to the world, to the new addition to the Liverpool family, mate. And massive congratulations to you and the family. That's brilliant news. Blair said, I hope the crowd are up for it tomorrow. I feel the atmosphere has been quite flat so far, so I hope we're up for it tomorrow. Oh, I think so. 4:30 kickoff. Now, we're going to be live at 3:15 tomorrow, so we're going to be going live when the team announcements come out. So remember that. We'll be starting 15 minutes earlier than normal. But yeah, I'm genuinely buzzing about that new baby into the world, mate. That's awesome. Your firstborn as well. It's such a special time. I'll never forget when our first child was born. That mix of unbelievable love, unbelievable fear at you now being responsible for another human being, but just incredible. So enjoy it, and congrats, massive congrats. Right, what else we got in the chat? I miss Craig. I miss Klopp. Do I? Of course I miss Jurgen. I mean, it'd be a liar to say we don't. But you know what? I'm going to be honest about it as well and say it did feel like the right time for everyone. You know, you could see the toll it was taking on Jurgen, physically and emotionally. So yeah, I felt like it was the right time, and I love the way it panned out that Jurgen controlled the situation. There was no talk of Jurgen being fired or anything. And I like Arne Slot. You know, I've said this, I've liked him from day one. He's a very different character to Jurgen, but so far I think he's going about his work in a very calm, reasoned, methodical way. And, you know, 9 wins from 10, I'll take that, or 10 from 11. I can't remember at this point, but either way, I'll take it. Here he is, my TOTT2KZ1 friend who I'm going to officiate his wedding. I definitely am, haven't I, mate? I definitely am. You know, I was there when he's got engaged, technically. So they got engaged, by the way, after an Anfield Agenda live show, our friend TOTT2KZ1. So, do you know what I mean? I should be officiating that wedding, dude. It's lonely at the top. Big win tomorrow, and hopefully Wolves can win. 15 months subscribed to the best channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, people. Yes, absolutely. Every single person that hits the subscribe and like button tonight means that we are one step closer to launching HMS Pista League. So if you want to join us on this all-inclusive sailing around the world of HMS Pista League, then subscribe and like. Carl said, as an Arsenal fan, I don't mind the banter. A lot of bad luck. But there, look, I get it, Carl, and fair play to you, mate. It is just banter, you know, as I've said all the time. Nothing but respect for Arsenal overall, but this is the game we're in, isn't it, mate? You know, bit of banter if we lose, bit of banter if you lose. That's the way it goes. You know, I'll never get toxic about it because I have respect for Arsenal. The other crowd in Manchester, well, you know, not a lot of positive stuff to say there, shall we say, Carl? Craig, surprised you're not watching the boxing. I have it on there, don't worry, mate, and I'll be re-watching it. I was watching the guy, the South African guy who just won the IBO title. I was watching that fight just before I came live, so I will go back and watch Azim against O'Hara Davies, don't worry. Why should I shush? Because you want to blame Nunez for something. So, Josh, I'm not sure what this is about, but let me give you context to the poll tonight, just in case you joined us a little bit late, Josh. So, there was a piece that came out that said, in Uruguay, it felt like Arne Slot has treated Darwin a little bit harshly. And I said, I don't think that's the case. I think Darwin needs to knuckle down, and I think he hasn't taken his chances when he's been given them. So then we just thought, you know what, let's see what everybody else feels. Hence the poll. So, definitely not time to start turning on each other, mate. And definitely not time to start having a pop at the mods either. Because, again, this conversation starts from the Uruguayan side about them feeling he's been harshly treated. And as a Liverpool fan, I'm just a little bit, and this is not you, Josh, I'm just a little bit fed up of players not taking responsibility. And we've seen it before with Mane, as an example. That, you know, when he was going to Bayern, he was going to be loved and he was going to be treated properly, as he wasn't at Liverpool, he wasn't respected, blah, blah, blah. Goes to Bayern, didn't work out, didn't settle there, and then he didn't see the grass wasn't greener. So, yeah, he's got to, it's up to him, is basically what I'm trying to say. We all want Darwin to succeed, but he's got to do it. We can't keep talking about potential forever. Alex said, United won today. Yes, they did. Came from a goal down to win 2-1. You know what? It's a win at home to Brentford. You should be winning those games, but I guess it's still a win nonetheless. V. Aaron said, hey Craig, which Liverpool news outlet should we be listening to? I always see Football 365, Paisley Gates, Team Talk articles, but they always crush my hopes. Don't know if others feel the same. So, God, difficult question here for me to answer because I don't want to insult anybody, especially people who put a lot of hard work into the stuff that they do. What I would say was, as an example, Paisley Gates, Liverpool.com, The Echo, The Mirror, they're all owned by Reach Media. So I don't know if any of those other outlets are, but a lot of the times you'll see recycled stories and a lot of cross-pollination of stories and patting each other on the back and highlighting the other outlets. For me, I look to The Athletic for stuff. Obviously, I read David Lynch, watch David Lynch on YouTube, read David Lynch's Substack, Paul Joyce, of course, as well. I get my stuff from everywhere, mate, in all honesty. Even though I'll sit here and I'll moan about the Echo on occasion, I'll also read the Echo bits. I don't think there's really an answer. You know, it's what you like and who you trust personally, because I'll be honest with you, everybody gets stuff wrong. Everybody, even the best of the best, get it wrong occasionally. So I think there are some outlets now that are a little bit bullshit centric, shall we say. So yeah, for me, I'm not going to belittle others, but the ones I would usually go for, I'd look at the Athletic stuff. Obviously, I'd read some of the Echo stuff, because occasionally you'll find a nugget of gold on there. Then you've got the aggregate accounts on social media. I mean, it's up to you, you know, however you like yourself. But the likes of, I don't know anyone at Team Talk or Indie Kayla or any, they're the ones that I would be a little bit, wouldn't be staking my reputation on them. Josh, I mean, we're trying to... I don't like seeing arguments in the chat, lads. So I would respectfully like if we could just let this stuff drop about Darwin or whatever's going on between Josh and the mods. There's no need for it. And I'm not pointing a finger at anyone, but just, you know, enjoy tonight, because, well, we're top of the league. And you know, I didn't think we would be top of the league sitting here, because I was fully expecting us top of the league tomorrow. But Arsenal's loss at Bournemouth certainly made it for an interesting weekend. The Striking Viking said, just emailed you, Craig. Thank you so much. We love you, especially Little Tiernan. Oh, what a beautiful name as well, dude. Thank you. So yeah, I'll get that sent out to young Tiernan, mate, during the week. A little thank you, a little welcome to the world from the friends at Anfield Agenda. And appreciate you, mate. I'll get back to you after the stream. Right, so more stories, more talky talk, more stuff to go through. So today there was a little bit of confusion around Saliba's red card. Fabrizio Romano, the Echo, and probably one or two other people were... oh, now it's going to lag. It's going to lag now. I'm seeing a little lag. So, apologies. I'm going to keep talking nonetheless. So, it's a one-game ban. And I'm going to read out to you why it's a one-game ban. So, in the FA's rule charges, a red card for denying a goal-scoring opportunity is a one-game ban. If it was dangerous play, it would be a 3-game ban. If it was spitting or being insulting, it would be a 3 to 6 game ban. But for now, it's a 1-game ban. So it does mean Saliba will be out for our game against Arsenal at the Emirates. Odegaard will be out as well. So, you know, look, it is probably a benefit to us heading there with those boys not there. And Saka obviously wasn't available today for Arsenal. I'm not sure if he'll be good to go next weekend. Can we what we call a professional foul? Yes, Max, exactly. And that's why it's only a 1-game ban. And there's a list of all the rules and the punishments and stuff up on the FA website. So if anybody wants to have a look at it, it is there. Right, let's check the poll. I think we can finish this one up now. We said, is Darwin being harshly treated by Slot? According to, as I said, Uruguayan reports, and 70% of you guys, over 1,300 votes cast, say, no, Craig, he is not being harshly treated. So that's where we are on that one. Any other poll ideas you'd like to see, let me know in the chat. If you're on Sky Broadband, you have my deepest sympathies. I am. Yeah, I am, mate. And it's very frustrating because, you know, you pay your money and you just want stable internet. So, yeah, I'm kind of at the behest of Sky and the companies at this point. But look, we'll keep ploughing on and see what we can do. And do you know what? To be fair to Sky, over the years that we've had them in, they've been pretty good, you know, pretty good. They all use the same lines anyway. So, yeah, they've been pretty good on the broadband, to be honest. How much is Darwin worth? I mean, I feel like if we start having that conversation, Omar, we're leaning into getting rid of Darwin again, and I don't want to pile on Darwin. I don't want to do that, mate. So, if you don't mind, respectfully, Omar, I'm going to pass up on that poll because, again, I think it's too early to have the conversation about selling him. Andre said, to be fair, tactical fouls are part of the game, but in that situation, Saliba made a mistake early in the game and whatnot. Should have rather conceded one early. Yeah, look, I feel it was a fair red. Watching it back, initially, I'll be honest, I wasn't even paying attention to the fact that it was an Arsenal player that played the ball back, and I thought to myself, this is offside, surely, because I thought it was a pass forward from Bournemouth, but it wasn't. Obviously, it was. I think it was Trossard, if my memory's right, who played the shocking ball back that put Saliba in that trouble. So, yeah, it was a red card. It was the right decision, but if I'm Saliba, I'm not going to be happy with Trossard there in that situation. Any news on Chiesa? Nothing that I've seen, Alex. Nothing new. I guess we'll find out tomorrow, dude, if he's in the squad or not. Luke said, Craig, what are your thoughts on the Kudus red card? I haven't seen it yet, Luke. I'm not trying to get out of answering you. I know he was sent off. I seen he picked up a yellow, and then was it a straight red for Kudus after that? Haven't seen it, mate. I can't lie to you, I haven't seen it. But that's another whooping. Is Lopetegui already under pressure at West Ham? Because they've not, they had a good couple of games at the start, and since then I think it's not been great for West Ham. And Spurs 4-1 victors today over them. Already, I never understood that appointment, to be honest with you. I didn't see a good fit there with Lopetegui. By the way, what a comeback from Leicester City today. I don't know if you've seen that. It looked like Southampton were finally going to get their first win of the season. Russell Martin was going to get off to winning ways, but a red card and a capitulation and a very, very late winner for Leicester City meant they beat Southampton by 3-2. Obviously today as well, we've seen Everton get I think it was a 2-0 victory away from home against Ipswich. So yeah, it's interesting times in the Prem right now. Who's the ref tomorrow? I think it's John Brooks. Adam Reynolds. I think it's John Brooks. Don't quote me on that, bro, but I think it's John Brooks. Do I have a second team in football? Omar, I did, and it was Barcelona, and it was a strong second. I pay a lot of attention to it. But I'm going to be entirely honest with you. Barcelona and the way they've carried on over the last 5 or so years, I've completely just fallen out of love with the whole Barcelona thing in general. I don't like the way they treated some of those players, and I don't like the way the club has been run. So yeah, no is probably the answer now. Is McAllister injured or will he be playing tomorrow? Well, the truth is, Ryan, we don't know. So we know he played for Argentina in the second game. He came off, I think, at about 75-80 minutes. We know that he was in the gym training yesterday, and it could have been just a personalised routine to check his fitness or to work on specific things. But as of right now, I think there's some optimism that he could be in the squad tomorrow, but I can't sit here and say to you definitively I know he's going to start or not. I don't, mate. What's this one from Arthur? He said, Rice doesn't pass the ball forward. Gravenberch better than both Rice and Caicedo for 1/3 of their price. I'm here for it, Arthur, bro. I'm here for it. That's all I'm going to say, mate. So we're calling Declan Rice the new Jordan Henderson then. Is that what we're saying? I'm happy to go in on England's Declan Rice. As an Irishman, mate, I'm more than happy to go in and slander England's Declan Rice a little bit. No, I think he's a good footballer in all honesty, but Gravenberch is showing up this season, isn't he? And there was some stats actually yesterday. Who was it that posted this yesterday? 1 second. I like to give the credit where it's due here, so bear with me 1 second. Where was it yesterday? Which account was it that posted it? Where are you? Sorry, I'm going through my notes here from yesterday. Yeah, so it was LFC Transfer Room that posted up some stats around Caicedo and Gravenberch, and you can see that Gravenberch has just, by all accounts, had a better start to the season. Oh, so now I'm seeing the hands to the face part for Kudus. It's hard to tell from a still image, but it looks like handbags, to be honest with you. But once you put your hands up to someone's face, you should know at this point in the Premier League that that other person's going to make a meal out of it and go to ground. So Maka posted tomorrow's game. Could that mean he plays? I hope so. You know, we know we're a better team with Alexis McAllister in the midfield, so I hope so. Rice is another Jordan Henderson, said Suleiman Khan, with better shooting and defending. Look, Rice is a great player. I'm not going to sit here and slander the fella as a footballer. I think he's a top-notch footballer, but do you know what I'm hoping for next week? I know I'm getting ahead of myself because we've got Chelsea tomorrow, but I'm hoping next week for one thing against Arsenal and one thing only. A decent refereeing performance and a decent VAR performance. Because I'm not going to lie to you, we're going to be shit on when we go to the Emirates. Because of last season. Last season, whenever we played somebody at the top end of the Premier League table, and I think there'll be a little lag for a second here, by the way. Sorry, it jumped for a sec. I think we got shafted. Think back. We went and we played Spurs at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Robbed. Robbed. On many counts. Played Arsenal at Anfield. Robbed. Should have had a penalty. Probably would have won the game at the end. Robbed. Played Man City at Anfield. Again, Jeremy Doku kicking McAllister in the chest. Not even sent to the monitor. Robbed. So I just want the referee and the VAR to do their damn job. And if the ref and the VAR do their job next week, whatever happens on the pitch then happens. If Arsenal beat us, fair play. If we beat them, fair play. But that's all I want, is the referees to do their damn job. Danny, thank you, mate, so much for gifting 5 memberships. Very kind of you. We're 21 away from hitting 277,400. And remember, we're trying to chase down 300k before Christmas. So every one of you that hits that subscribe button makes a big difference. And thank you again, Danny LaRue. Harry, would you like to see Ngannou in boxing against Wilder? Yeah, of course. Look, let me say it this way to you. Who doesn't want to see two powerful fellas punching the head off each other? Whether they're amateur, whether they're top-notch professionals, whether they're crossover fighters, I'd watch that. Of course I'd watch it, mate. Do I want to see it? It wouldn't be on my, the top of my list of stuff I want to look at, but I'll watch it. If it happens, I promise you that one, mate. I'd certainly watch it. Alex said, robbed at Spurs. Still can't believe we lost that game. It was so heartbreaking, wasn't it? Matip goal right at the end after the Diaz goal ruled out. The 2 shitty red cards. Yeah, it was just a terrible day all in. John Corrigan said, if we beat Chelsea and then Arsenal, I think we win the league. It's a big call, that one. Do you know what? I want to ask you a question, and I'll give you context to my question in 1 second. Let me just put the poll up. 1 sec. How will I word this part? Okay. Right, so I didn't write out any of that. Oh, lads. I didn't click on it. Okay. Alright, so question is, do you think that the 115 charges against Manchester City that are currently being heard will impact their form this season? Will it cause them to lose form? Now, the reason that I ask this is, I'm finally starting to see some stuff in the media, like from Jones Knows on Sky, who was talking about his previews for the game and giving his predictions for the weekend. He reckons that these charges and what they're hanging over City's head will, as the season goes on, distract them, cause them issues, cause them to have a little dip in form at times. And I just want to ask you guys if you're feeling that way, because I am. and I said this before the season got underway, it feels like it has to. I know they're all professionals and they're all going to say they're focused and all, but as we get closer to the end of this hearing and to a result either way in it, I think the pressure's going to intensify in Manchester City. And then you add into that the whole Guardiola stuff. And my prediction would be that I think Guardiola will announce he's going to leave. It's a guess, by the way. Guardiola will announce he's going to leave, and then Manchester City will try to use that to galvanise the players together to push for one league title to send Pep off with a win. That's my prediction with that situation. I think Pep walks away, but I think they use that as motivation to try and get them over the line and block out the noise from the 115 charges and that hearing. Chinese or a Sunday roast? Oh, Sunday roast. Definitely a Sunday roast over a Chinese. Sunday roast is... It's the GOAT dinner, isn't it? Probably, apart from Christmas dinner, Sunday roast is delicious. Uh, 100% it will affect them throughout the rest of the season. Great poll, said John Corrigan. Thank you, mate. See, I think it will as well. Now, I don't know to what extent, John, but, you know, if it was us in this position, I'd feel it would impact us as well. If it was Arsenal or United, I think it's only natural that when you have this level of criticism and emotion that's involved in this case, I think it will have to seep in and impact players. And I think certainly they're going to try and form a siege mentality there, but I think it'll impact them. Thoughts on Tuchel taking over the England job? I think it's very, very, very clever for England. 18-month contract gives the English FA time to reevaluate, see if Tuchel delivers or not. I think it was going to cost them somewhere about 6 million quid just to buy Eddie Howe out of his Newcastle contract, if that was the way they wanted to go. And then you look around and you think, well, who else? So, not for me to talk about the German thing because I'm not English, so I don't have that inbuilt battle with the Germans in my mind. But I think it's a good appointment. I think Pep Guardiola probably would have been the dream for the FA. That wasn't possible. Still think he'll take that Brazil job in the future. But yeah, I think Tuchel was a good appointment. I think it was a solid appointment. And I think at 18 months, I think it's one that shouldn't overly concern anybody. But, this is an outsider's perspective. And Newcastle lost as well. Yes, they did. 1-0 to Brighton. And by the way, what a start the new Brighton manager's had. 31 years of age. And flying high up there. And a good away victory today at St. James's Park. So fair play to Brighton. We've got to play them twice now over the next month. Once in the league, once in the League Cup. Within a few days of each other. Salah or Foden? Come on now. I like Phil Foden. He's a great footballer. But Salah's different gravy. But by the time all is said and done in Foden's career, it could be a very different conversation. But right now, it's got to be Salah. Is Eddie Howe really that good? Don't see any English manager coach that is good, said Lynn. So, look, I think Eddie Howe is a decent manager. But I wouldn't ever... I don't think he'll end up with a job at a top club like a Real Madrid or Barca or Liverpool or United. I don't know if he'll ever get to that level. But he probably is one of the best of the English ones around at the minute, to be fair. But that's more an indictment of the lack of top-level coaches coming through the FA system. I think I seen something the other day to say there's like 8 or 9 times the amount of coaches in Spain that been... I think it costs 13 grand or something to get your pro license via the FA's coaching structure and setup. Now, open to being corrected on that, but I'm sure I've seen somebody throw around that figure on Sky the other night to say it costs about 13 or 14,000 quid for the pro license. And, normal people like you and I don't have 13 or 14 grand to throw around, which is why you see more ex-players and stuff like that go through that pathway, because it's a lot of money, isn't it? A lot of money to put down to get a qualification. Jammy Jamjar said, Craig, is Brighton's form over the last few years extreme luck or a well-executed plan? I ask because I'm at one point, Chelsea bought nearly all their staff and it doesn't seem to have affected Brighton. I would have to say what Tony Bloom has done at Brighton is just remarkable. And certainly I wouldn't call it luck now. I think it's a very well executed plan that continues to bear fruit. You know, as you said, they sold Caicedo and they sold Cucurella and they sold lots of other players. They sold McAllister to us. And look at them now. Again, rebuilt. Good young exciting talent. A good young manager came in from Germany. You just got to say well done to Brighton. It is a great modern success story of the way that they've built that club. Addy said, I don't want us to be overconfident just because Saliba is out. Why? Come on, bro. We'll have a bit of fun on it. And also, Odegaard will be out as well. Saka, we don't know what's going to happen there. So, come on. Let us have a bit of fun, mate, you know. It's certainly not going to cause us any harm compared to him being there, you know. I think we'll all agree Arsenal are better with Saliba in the team. Never celebrate a team's loss. Recipe for disaster. Yeah, you see, that's... Well, love you, Aaron. No disrespect meant, but that's just bullshit. Do you know what I mean? It's just an old wives' tale, or, you know... There's no scientific fact or way of proving that. It's just a case that people don't want to have it bite them in the arse again. That's all it is. Nobody wants to go in and say it because they're afraid if we lose tomorrow, it'll come back and bite them in the arse. I'm going to say it. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to celebrate when Arsenal drop points. I'm going to celebrate when City drop points. And I'm going to celebrate when we're top of the league. And if that comes back to bite me in the arse, so what? This is what we're supposed to be as football fans. We're supposed to enjoy every moment like this. So I get where you're coming from, but it's just not true. You know what I mean? It's just... it's just fear for people. That's all. And look, I probably have one of the most public mocking and ridicules of bragging about a game when I did it for the 7-2, when United were beaten 6-1 by Spurs, and I came on breaking me shit laughing and, you know, talking about Adrian being a goal and we'll be fine, and that absolutely bit me in the arse. But you know what? I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a goddamn second of it because I enjoyed every minute of it laughing at them. So yeah, I guess it just depends what type of person you are, and I'm a little bit of a shithouse, so yeah, that's just the way I am though. Right, boogers taste salty. Do you know what, mate? Real talk here for a second. I pick my nose like I pick my nose a lot because I'm obsessed with my nose being clean. But I tell you, I've never ever tasted a booger. Never. So I don't know if they are salty or not, bro. But yeah, I'm a big nose picker. Have to have a clean nose, but never tasted them. So I'm going to have to take your word on it. Right. So, problem is Darwin often makes runs into places where he can't get the ball. Slot wants control, so just running for through balls won't cut it. Yes, I think that's a fair assessment. And look, that's okay as well for Darwin. You know, different players will take to different systems more quickly or less quickly than others. For an example, just look at the turnaround from Ryan Gravenberch, whereas under Jurgen didn't really feel like he had the system and the way to get the best out of Ryan as much as you would have wanted. Arna comes in, fresh look at the situation, and thinks, well, here's a player I can use as a number 6 in a different way, and he's blossomed. So maybe it will take Darwin a bit longer, which is why I'm trying to be fair and not, you know, throw him under the bus this season. But at some point, the excuses will have to stop. And at some point, improvements are going to have to be there. Or I think it's only natural that the conversations you had about his long-term future then. But right now, he's still got time. Coach Bill said, Craig, they're salty. I'll have to take your word for it, bro. You know, I've not indulged. Sean McMahon said, of course you celebrate if a rival loses. Otherwise, what's the point? You telling me now that there's not lads that when Arsenal lost, straight away went to the wife or the missus or the fella or whatever, boys and girls alike, didn't go, I'm down the pub now. I know a few of my Arsenal mates are down the pub. I'm straight in that door now. Big beaming smile on my face to have a wink at them and buy them a commiseration pint. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Craig, who are your top 3 Liverpool goalkeepers ever? So, Tammy, I only ever speak about players that I watched, and I didn't get to see Ray Clement, so I've got to put that out there. So, for me, top 3, Alisson Becker, number 1. Pepe Reina, number 2. And you know what? I'm going to show my bias and say Kelleher, number 3. I didn't really rate Bruce Grobbler all that much. Definitely didn't rate Simon Mignolet. So I'm going to stick to my compatriot and think that even though he's never really been a number 1, I'm putting him number 3 on the list. So yeah, I'm going to go Alisson Becker, Pepe Reina, and then I'm sticking for Caoimhín Kelleher. Lee Gould said, I wasn't expecting to challenge for the title this year with a new manager coming in. Now I'm dreaming. So I was the same. My goal for Arna this season came around from his own words. So he said he wanted to break the 82 or 83 points tally we put up last season. And that's always been my goal for the season for Arna and Liverpool, is to beat that points tally. Now, if we're within striking distance on the other side of Christmas, who knows? But a couple of things are going to be pivotal to us. Injuries and suspensions. If we can manage those, limit those, that will help. And of course, we may need to lean into the January market. Let's see what happens there. That could have an impact on the season as well. So, look, I'm just fucking happy. I'm just happy with where we are at the minute. And do you know what? I still don't think we've played anywhere near our best for more than brief glimpses this season. There's been 10, 15 minute spells where we've been incredible, but I think we've got another gear or two to go through yet. A lot of people saying about Dudek. Look, Jerzy Dudek, legend for Istanbul. Absolute legend. But I wouldn't be putting him up there as one of Liverpool's great goalkeepers. I think he was a decent goalkeeper. But for that alone, legend though. Absolutely, like that night in Istanbul. Love the Grobler-esque shenanigans in goal. Apologies on the lagging. It's so frustrating. Again, apologies. So annoying. Somebody said Ray Clements, what a goalkeeper. I didn't have a chance to watch Ray Clements growing up, so unfortunately, I never did. Are you having a stroke in there, Novelty 8 Theory? I mean, do you want me to try and help you spell a word, mate? Or are you trying to say something about something head? You're trying to call me egghead or something, mate? It's hard to know. I mean, this is a level of moron that I've not quite encountered very often. So, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just ban you to save us both the embarrassment of having to read whatever the fuck that was you were trying to write. NNUK said, I don't want to be too overconfident about this. Each to their own. Each to their own. I'm going to enjoy every point that our rivals drop, every red card that they receive, every shitty refereeing decision that goes against them. I'm going to enjoy every single second of it, and I'm not going to apologise for it one bit. If it bites me in the ass, I'm big enough to take that on the chin, but I'm here for it is all I'm going to say. All the way through the season, every time they slip up, I'm going to be here celebrating it. I don't know any other way. Amen said, if we're ahead after Madrid, we'll steamroll the Prem. It's a keeper's name. Cheers, Mark. Craig, can you and Lee Gunner talk when we play Arsenal? Yeah. We were actually only exchanging messages last night. So I owe this dude an apology, and I'm going to go back up. Novelty 8 Theory. I owe you a sincere apology, mate, and I'm going to look into the camera and give it to you honestly. I am an asshole. I had no idea that those random collection of letters that you wrote down there were a goalkeeper's name. Pegai Arkhegzid. So I, sir, owe you a sincere apology, and I do sincerely apologise. So I'm an asshole. Let me just apologise to you, bro. I'm an asshole. Sorry. Right. Going to be a thunderstorm tomorrow. Yes. And he played for Liverpool as well, this keeper. Here. Never knew that. Never knew that. There you go. You learn something new every day. I never even heard of that dude. And he played 2 games for Liverpool. So again, mate, look, I'm not afraid to put my hands up when I'm wrong. And I was very, very wrong here. So apologies. Jason, always lovely to see you in. If somebody came in for a price for Curtis and Harvey, would you sell? I'd sell Curtis Jones tomorrow. Yeah. Oh yeah. Curtis Jones, 30 to 40 million, and I would sell Curtis Jones. Would I sell Harvey Elliott? No, I wouldn't. Because I think Harvey Elliott hasn't yet fully developed to show what he can do. I expect Harvey Elliott to be a big impact player for us in the next few years. So I wouldn't sell him, but yes, I would sell Curtis Jones, Jason, for about 30 to 40, I think. Craig, love the channel. Are you concerned by Alisson's recent injury record? I think it's natural to feel concerned, Kyle, yeah. I think what does help me out with these concerns are the fact that I really do have a lot of trust and belief in Kelleher and Yaros, to be fair. And I really do rate the signing of Georgi Mamardashvili as well. So, am I concerned about it? Yes, but do you know what? I just want clarity on the goalkeeper situation in general. You know, I'm trying to figure out what happens next year, because obviously Mamardashvili's going to come in. Are we going to then lose Kelleher and Alisson? Are we going to lose one of them? Are we going to lose... Well, we're surely going to have to lose one. So I'd just like some clarity on what that position looks like going forward. But yeah, of course, it is concerning. You know, nobody wants to be injured. Alisson, you know, is getting a little bit older, and, you know, we all know as we age, our bodies aren't what they once were. But I think the club are going to leave no stone unturned trying to figure it out, and Arne Slot was kind of saying as much as well. What's your favourite Liverpool song? So, again, I have a bit of a bias on this one. So it's The Fields of Anfield Road for 2 reasons. One, it's taken on The Fields of Athenry, you know, very famous Irish song. But also, my father-in-law's friend wrote The Fields of Athenry, Pete St. John. So the song's got a kind of close connection to our family as well. So that one. After that, probably the Bobby Firmino song was right up there as one of my favourites. What else have I liked from the Liverpool songs over the years? I like the Virgil van Dijk Dirty Old Town cover as well. I think that's brilliant. The Best Midfield in the World song, I love that, when we had Gerrard, Sissoko, Alonso, Mascherano. That was crazy. That was brilliant. Who are my top 5 pound for pound boxers? Oh, God, I don't know, mate. I'd have to really sit down and think about that. You know, Newey would be in there. Obviously, Bud Crawford would be in there. Usyk would be in there. You'd have to throw Arthur Beterbiev in there as well at this point. I mean, I'd have to really sit down and think about it. LA is brilliant, Adam. It is. That's an anthem, is what I would call LA. Definitely an anthem. What does pound for pound mean? Okay, so obviously in boxing there's loads of different weight divisions. Lightweights, all the way right, well, lower weights all the way right up to heavyweight. So pound for pound means if they were the exact same, if they both weighed X amount, if the weight divisions weren't an issue, just based off what they've achieved and who they've gone through in their era, pound for pound, you know. So you're taking the weight divisions out of it and just looking at the strength and depth of that era of boxing, who that person has fought, and yeah, so that's what it means. Lomachenko, nowhere near pound for pound rankings, mate. Nowhere near. Everyone we mentioned there has all got to undisputed, and Lomachenko never managed to achieve that, and went professional very late in his career. Carl said, as a pro kickboxer, pound for pound is nonsense. I think it's just a turn of phrase, Carl, to describe how good you think somebody is. So, I don't know what other phraseology we could use to describe it, but it is very difficult to actually contrast and compare. I get where you're coming from. But you know what? It is a good time for boxing, let's just say that. Joe Calzaghe, love Joe Calzaghe, Justin. I've said this before, he's probably my favourite and most underrated and underappreciated boxer in my lifetime supporting, UK and Irish boxing. I would say Calzaghe's right up there. Love Joe Calzaghe. Last week was the biggest robbery in boxing. So I didn't get to watch that, Charlie. I was following a live vlog of it. I think it was on the Independent or somewhere, because I was over in Turkey on holiday, so I couldn't watch it. By all accounts, it feels like there was a split in thought processes. A lot of people around the ring and a lot of the stuff I was following seemed to think that Bivol was going to get the decision. But as I said, I didn't watch the fight, so I don't feel it's fair for me to give a view on it. Patrick, how are you, dude? And thank you so much for your super chat, mate. You're very kind. Said, hey, Craig, hope you had amazing holidays. Have you seen Mamardashvili had to say about the goalkeeper situation? Have a great night and love the channel. I did see what he had to say, mate, and I love it. I love that level of strong mindfulness, or strong-mindedness, I should say, sorry. That's what I want from a player. I want somebody looking at our football club and thinking, I'm coming here to play. Whether it's, I'm going to oust Alisson Becker, whether it's, I'm going to oust Mohamed Salah, or I'm a young centre-back who wants to take Van Dijk's place. That's what I want to hear. That level of confidence, self-belief. Yeah. Because you need that to be successful at a club like Liverpool. So, excuse me, bit of a hiccup. Yeah, I liked it. Have I heard the new KSI song? I have not, no, I haven't. I how can I say this? Big fan of KSI for what he's done with his life. And, he is an icon of his era, but I'm not a fan of his music, respectfully. Probably because of my age, more than anything else, but really like what he's done. I think he's a good influence on young culture and youth culture, and getting loads of people into gyms, training and that as well. So much love on all of that stuff and everything JJ's achieved. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the musical side of his talent roster, shall we say. Thoughts on Macca's song? I'm still trying to learn it off properly, Ali. It's a great song though. It is a really, really good song. Macca's song's good, but I really like Lucho's song as well. That's another one. I'm trying to learn all the newer songs as well, so I can start introducing them into the watch-alongs. Thoughts on Mike Tyson fighting? It's a disgrace. It's a fucking disgrace. That, what is he, 60-year-old Mike Tyson's getting in there with a much younger, fresher fighter in Jake Paul, even just taking out their boxing history, and I just don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't at all. I just don't. Watch the fight, Craigie boy. I think you would agree. Certainly the perceived wisdom was, Charlie, that Bivol won it, from people that I'd seen commenting on the fight. What do you think will happen to Robbo Chimicus with us being linked with lots of left backs? I think it's right for us to be linked with a lot of left backs, and I think it will be Costas that will be the one to move on. Robbo, you would expect somebody new to come in and challenge Andy Robertson and maybe become the long-term successor to Andy Robertson. Robbo still has a few years left in him, but with Costas, I don't ever see us having that conversation where we think Costas is going to be the natural successor to Robbo. And I think at this stage of his career as well, he's going to probably look around and think, I want to be playing week in and week out. So, yeah, I think it's right for us to be looking for left backs. Hey Craig, hope you're well. Any news on when Elliott will be back? Yeah, I think the Athletics said the end of October is the time frame that we're looking at the minute. He's in the gym doing some work now, but not ready just yet. It was a fractured foot he was coming back from as well. So yeah, I feel really bad for Harvey because there's a lot of football to be played now, and he probably would have had some opportunities where he could have showed the manager what he could do. Plus Costa should be in his prime, said Andre. Yeah, that's fair as well. Can't wait for the commentators. Shout out to Maradashvili's name when he makes a great save. He looks legit as a goalkeeper, by the way. Just under 2 meters, 1.97 meters tall, so 6'6". An absolute colossus of a man. Yeah, he looks like a machine of a keeper. So I can understand why Edwards, Hughes and the recruitment team were quick to try and get that one tied up, because I think we'll look back at €30 million for Georgi Mamardashvili in years to come as an absolute bargain. Losing Rodri will cost City form, nothing else. I disagree, Ian. I mean, I agree with you on the Rodri part, mate. Sorry. Anybody losing him would impact. But I do think the outside noise and the pressure, particularly if they're found guilty, I think it will naturally have to take a bit of an impact, mate. I guess to what extent, we'll see. Ali said, hey Craig, do you think Liverpool should rotate to try and rest as many of the 11 against Red Bull due to Saliba's red card? More chance of us winning. Yes, I do. Sorry I had to think on that one. You never want to throw away any points in the Champions League at all. And you want to try and go over to Red Bull and get a result. But there's wiggle room there that I don't think we'll have in the Premier League. So, yeah, I would say if you were to rotate in any of those 3 matches, and look, I wouldn't be rotating a whole lot, to be honest with you. I think that's probably the one to do it, where maybe you could bring in Curtis Jones, maybe you could bring in whoever you don't want to play in the 2 games at left-sided mid or left winger, whether it be Gakpo or Diaz. Probably give Darwin a run out in Germany. So, yeah, I would say that would be the one I'd look to. Arthur Smith, how are you, my friend? Said, I would love to see Jedi Robinson as a red. I think the thing that massively goes against him is his age. I think Anthony Robinson's, 27 now? 28? Certainly 27. So that's what will probably stop Liverpool looking at him, because I like him as well. Lots of energy to get up and down that left flank. But I think we're going to be looking for somebody in the probably 20 to 24 year old bracket. What would be your dream signing if you could buy anybody? Oh, good question. Bellingham, Wirtz or Musiala. One of those 3. And if I had to pick for the way we play, look, I'm going to stand over Bellingham, but I probably Musiala. I'd love to drop Musiala into that team, and yeah, that would be delicious. So yeah, one of those 3 probably. Do you know what though? I think whoever goes and gets, what's the kid's name? Sesko. If Arsenal can get him, and they've been tracking him for a long time, whoever gets Sesko, I think, is going to get one hell of a footballer as well when he moves on from the... Is it Leipzig he's at now? He went from Salzburg to Leipzig, I think. I think, yeah, he's going to be one hell of a player. Would you want to strike... Excuse me. Joshua said, would you want to sign a new striker if this Nunez form keeps up? Yes, I would. I got to be honest about that, mate. I want him to succeed. I'm willing to give it this season. But if it doesn't improve over the course of this year, I have to say, yes, we should be looking at the striking position. Whether that's Jayden Dan's coming through next season to maybe start knocking on the door or not, I think we'd be just burying our heads in the sand if after another year of up and down form we weren't revisiting that situation. What's my favourite Liverpool top? So 1996 is a particular favourite year of mine for Liverpool jerseys. The away in the third kit that year, the green and white chessboard one and the kind of golden orangey Liverpool one with all the crests all over it. That was brilliant. And then the favourite home shirt is the 88 one with the crown paints that later became Carlsberg. That one. But yeah, the 96 away in third are two of my favourite shirts. I love them. What about Osimhen? Not a fan of Victor Osimhen, especially for the way we play. I don't think he's the right type of player. I think in an Arne Slot system, I think we need somebody a bit more like Sesko. Somebody who has more attributes, power, pace, guile, but can play as a 9.5 almost. I mean, if we could reinvent Bobby Firmino and put Bobby Firmino in his prime into this team, I think Arne Slot would wet himself with excitement. Alisson's supposed to be staying till at least the end of his contract. Brilliant. I mean, we all want Alisson to stay. I think he's contracted to 2027, Ian Wu. If my memory is right, I think it's 2027. Joshua said, score prediction for tomorrow. I'm going to go... stick with my 3-1. Joshua, I'm going to stick with my 3-1. I'm going ballsy. It could be 2-2, but I think there's going to be 4 goals in the game tomorrow. Watch this be a 0-0 now and may have jinxed that one, but yeah, I'm going to go 3-1 to Liverpool. I hope we don't start slowly though, and I hope we don't concede first. You know, we need to be at it because we've been slow to get into games and warm into them this season. We need to be at it from minute 1 tomorrow. And look, if you're Arne Slot and you're looking at those Liverpool players, you're going to know you win tomorrow and you're top of the league. You win tomorrow and you're top of the league for another week. And whilst it doesn't really mean anything at this point of the season, anytime you can extend over your rivals, you got to capitalise. That's basically what I'm trying to say here. Arsenal slipped up this week. We have to capitalise on that. Not really expecting much at Molineux tomorrow. I think City will win, but we have to capitalise on Arsenal losing to Bournemouth, and that has to be 3 points. Squeaky Clean said, I'm nervous. To be honest, I think we lose 2-1. Just a bad feeling I have. It's hard to know what to expect of Chelsea. You know, they could come and play really well because they're capable of that. They could come and look to play out from the back and make mistakes that we can capitalise on. Or we could cancel each other out. So it is going to be interesting. I have no doubt that Arne Slot has a plan. I've no doubt that he knows what he wants the boys to do. And I've no doubt that if both teams play to their best, I think we win the game. But it's not easy. Playing Chelsea is never easy. Finn said, Craig, myself and my son are watching. Big fans. Thank you. Out of curiosity, what age am I? 42. 43, sorry. Yeah, jeez, I forgot I had a birthday last month. 43, mate. Sometimes people are surprised when I tell them I'm 43. Some people think I'm a bit younger, which I'll take. But now I'm 43, mate. Yeah, 43, but like I've got the emotional intelligence of a 15-year-old, probably. If City draw 1-1, I get 700 quid. Do you know what, mate? I'm going to wish you well on that, because if City draw 1-1, we all win. You know, we get to see them drop points, you get 700 blips, and yeah, nice one. Don't forget now, shares. I want a super chat tomorrow. If City draw 1-1, mate, I want a super chat. Danny says, shout out to Neil Critchley winning his first game as Hearts manager today. Yep, I did see that actually on Gillette Soccer Saturday. They were congratulating him. I think he was fired by Blackpool, right? Went up there to Hearts and got his first win today. Deal. I love it, Ian Wu. I love it, mate. Well in. By the way, what a game up in Scotland today between Celtic and Aberdeen. Two teams going into the game with a 100% record. Celtic roared into a 2-0 lead. Aberdeen then got back to 2-2. Thought they had a winner. That was ruled out. But yeah, it looks like there could be a three-way race maybe in the Scottish Premier League this year. Carl said, Craig, Arsenal losing is great news. It is, Carl. And that's what I said, mate. At the start of the stream, people are like, relax, lads. Don't go too, don't go too mad. Don't celebrate too much. It'll bite us in the arse. I just don't care, though. You know, I think we have to. You take your lumps when you lose and you drop points. But when others do it, And let's be honest, Arsenal are a rival of ours at this point. They are. We have to celebrate it, man. But we also have to capitalise on it. And that involves beating Chelsea tomorrow. I went to Aberdeen to watch Celtic. Took 11 hours on the coach and they lost 4-2. Ouch. I would be an Aberdeen-leaning person in that league. Just to be awkward. Because obviously over here in Ireland, it's all Celtic, Celtic, Celtic. And then there's the other side of the coin, which is Rangers, Rangers, Rangers. So I decided I'm going to be awkward. And I went down the middle. And I went Aberdeen. Just to be awkward. And because Graham Hunter's an Aberdeen fan as well. And Graham Hunter's one of my broadcasting icons. I absolutely love Graham Hunter. Finity Tin said, I'm 50, but I have the sense of humour of a toddler. I'm going to ask you a bit of a question here. 1 second. So do you think the charges will cause City to lose form this season? We've nearly had 1,000 votes on this one, so I'm going to end it here, where you guys with 55% have said yes. You do think it's going to cause them to. Now, I've got a bit of a personal poll to put up. 1 second. Right, I'm going to ask you how old I look. So 1 second. Right, so question, how old do I look? I've given you 4 options, and I'm going to see what you vote on. You might want to pay attention to the bottom option, though. So the options are 25, 30, 35, or over 40 with a possible ban. So up to you. 50? Fuck off, Shane. I don't look 50. Look at this skin. No 50-year-old man has this skin, bro. Come on now. 40 coming from a fellow Dubliner. Anything my age or younger I'll take. You know what I mean? Anything older than 40, I'm crying in the corner. That's all I'm going to say. George said, Craig, what would you say was your favourite game so far this season? Mine has to be United. It was a close one. Oh, definitely United. Definitely, George, United. It was a good win to go over to the San Siro and beat AC Milan. Absolutely. But you'll take a 3-0 away victory at Old Trafford any season, mate. Any season. So yeah, I'll happily take that 3-0 victory over United. Especially because, remember going into the game, George, we had Gary Neville on Sky talking about, you know, predicting United to finish ahead of us in the league. Then saying United's midfield was better than Liverpool's midfield and yada, yada, yada. And then we went there. We didn't even have to play particularly well. Wiped the floor with them 3-0. And yeah, the rest, as they say, is history. So I'm going to say so far that one. Rachel said, you're the same age as my nephew. There you go. I didn't know you had a nephew who was 22, Rachel. 55. 55! 50 feckin' 5! Are you mad? Are you actually mad? 50 motherfucking 5! For the love of God. Come on now. We're not talking about weight here. Craig, honest opinion, do you think Chelsea score tomorrow? Yes, I do. That's why I've gone 3-1. I think I'm expecting it to be a bit of an end-to-end game. So yeah, I'm going 3-1. I think we've kept some great clean sheets this season, but let's be honest, we've been a bit fortunate at times as well, with some good saves from Alisson and Kelleher and Yaros, with some tight offside decisions that correctly went in our favour. So yeah, look, I think we've dodged the bullet a few times and probably got a little bit away. Suleiman said, Craig, what's the KO by Azim? Well, thanks for wrecking the boxing for me there, mate. You know, it's not like I said at the start of the stream I was going to be watching it afterwards, so cheers for that one. Who's the goalie tomorrow? Oh, it'll be Kelleher. He was only out for the last game because he had an illness. So it'll be Queevy and Kelleher in goal tomorrow, and probably right the way through till Ali's back. Looks like I'm going to have to ban 45% of the chat, you bastards. And here was me thinking that we were vibing, you know. Here was me thinking that there was some good in the world. And then I put up the poll and say, how old do I look? 12% for 25, 12% for 30, 32% for 35, and then 44% of you bastards. All good, folks. All good. Only joking. Right. Watch that get demonetized now for saying it in a swearing, kind way. Tomorrow, give me some of your score predictions. I'm predicting a Canada header tomorrow as well, by the way. I also got Trent on Sky at, I think it was 16-1 for Trent to score from outside the penalty area. So I was all over that with a cheeky little tenner on that one for tomorrow. But I also think we're going to see an Ibu goal. So I'm going to go Ibu to score a header tomorrow and Liverpool to win 3-1. That's my prediction. No joke, though, I did think you were 43. Well, I am. So you were correct, Tig. Salah double tomorrow for Marco. 4-1 for Joshua. 4-2 for Suleiman. 2-1 for Shane Buckley. 2-1 Diaz and Salah with a Palmer goal for Chelsea for Alex Harper. 2-0 for Derek, LFC Community. 2-1 Coach Bill. 4-0. Love that, Bill. Rachel gone 3-2 Liverpool. Carl 3-2. Scott Engerson 3-1 the Reds. Lee, I'm loving that, Lee. I'll have a little bit of your score, bro. 4-0 Canada and Virgil. Jason's Red Army's gone 3-1 Liverpool. Conrad Haig 4-1. Muzz K 5-0 or 4-0. I promise you one thing, Muzz, mate. Or Mewes, excuse me, Mewes. If we beat them by that scoreline tomorrow, 3-0, 4-0 or 5-0, unfortunately, I'm going to be unbearable. I just am. So, if that happens tomorrow, I'm going to be the reason why Liverpool fans are hated by other clubs and other clubs' fans. Sorry in advance, but I will. Destiny Warriors going 3-0. Jordan Garcia 3-0. Lisa 3-0. Carl Heffo said, Craig, who is the strongest squad in the league? I'd probably say Arsenal. Do you know what? I'd probably say Arsenal, Carl. I was thinking through the Manchester City squad, and there is some good depth there, but it is a little bit light as well with regards to actual numbers. So for me, I would say Arsenal. I think we still have some gaps in our squad that I think we could say need to be filled. Arsenal, you're looking at a striker. Outside of that, I think they've built a pretty deep squad. So yeah, I'd probably go with Arsenal. Not United. Yes, Mark. I think we can all agree on that one. Not United. David said their bench is poor. I think Arsenal have some good options if everybody's fit, to be honest. Like having Trossard coming off the bench or Martinelli coming off the bench. Even in central midfield now with Marino in there, they've got some decent options. Chelsea do have a good squad, but it's a difficult one to get gauge of, the Chelsea one, because it's been so crazy, the business they've done in the last few years. But they have certainly got talent and a stacked group of players that, if they all live up to their potential, is for years to come. Yeah. Would I sign Gyökeres and sell Nunez? I'd rather Sesko if we were to sell Nunez, personally. I think Mario said we're stronger than Arsenal. I think we're a midfielder and a centre-back away from having the best squad in the Premier League. If we brought in Zubamendi and a good centre-back, a good young centre-back, I'm saying we've the best squad in the league. We're close. I think we're definitely top three. But I do think the lack of depth in midfield is a sore thumb that needs to be assessed fairly. Did you see Omar Marmoush get player of the month in the Bundesliga? I did, and I also seen he scored a penalty today, but they were beaten. Actually, I think they were trounced by Bayern Munich. Harry Kane hat-trick. It was 4-1 last I'd seen. I don't know if it finished that way. But yeah, another Harry Kane hat-trick. Actually, no, that was Stuttgart they were playing. Sorry. It was Stuttgart Bayern were playing. I forgot. But yes, I did see Omar Mamouche scored a penalty today. But yeah, Harry Kane hat-trick in the win against Stuttgart. Dogs or cats? 100% dogs. 100%. I don't get the cat thing. And I'm allergic to cats. So, yeah, I'm a massive dog person. Love how you read the comments, unlike other streamers. Big up to you. Marco, look, I can't speak to other streamers, but this has always been our channel since day one. Like, sometimes I watch other channels and I see their hosts talking for 10, 15, 20 minutes and I think, I couldn't do that. I couldn't. Like, I need my chat to bounce off because... I'll tell you a little story really quickly. When we came in to do YouTube, I'd never really paid much attention to YouTube. You know, I had a podcast, came into that, and Connor said, let's go over to YouTube. So I came into YouTube, and the night of the first stream, I realised really quickly, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what a football YouTube stream looks like. I don't know what to do. So all I did was, I went back and forth with the chat. First night, a couple of people trickled in. We had chats with 3.5 hours long at times. And then over the course of it, that just became my thing. Just interacting with people. And I think that it helps foster the community that we have as well. Because it's important to me that everybody feels on the same level here. You know, I'm not any different to anybody else. Other than I got a little bit lucky. But I'm a normal working class fella who can't believe I get to do this for a living. Like, but yeah, I love it. I wouldn't want it any other way, mate. I love chatting with people because it's your show, like I always say. I want to give you guys a chance to say what you want to say. Sinister, thank you, bro, for gifting a membership. Very kind of you. And also for your lovely comment there as well. Craig, have you decided if you're retiring or not yet? Have I decided? Nearly. Either way, I'm not going to be talking about it till closer to the end of the season, but yeah, I'm nearly at that decision making point. Yes. Jay, 10 wins out of 10, not too much to ask for, right? I mean, chance to be a fine thing, Jay. Look, tomorrow a win, go over to Leipzig, a win, and then if we could pick up... do you know what? I'm not going to lie. I'd take a draw right now at the Emirates. I would. I don't know if anybody else feels that way. Do you know what? I'm going to ask that question actually for our last poll of the night. So, in the poll, how old do I look? 97% of people went with 25. 1% went with 30. 1% with 35. And 1% said 40. So, well done to the 97. Definitely 97% of people who said I look 25. Well done, everybody. Great poll. Well done to everyone that participated. Who watches this shit content? Your ma. That's who watches it, mate. She loves rolling over and watching it. So, there you go, dickhead. I hope it was worth it, mate. I hope you came in and enjoyed your little shot at the king there, bro. It's all good. See that number in the top left corner? You'll never see that number, mate. So, you don't concern yourself with the big boy shit. This is fucking marvellous content from an absolute national treasure over here in Ireland, mate. I fully believe that by the day I do hang up the microphone, there'll be a statue. I assume they're going to put one in Liverpool as well, like, but it'll definitely be one here in Wexford. Probably be a couple up in Dublin. But yeah, I do feel for people like you though, that like that's all you got in life, you know. Come in and try and piss on people because you haven't got the bollocks to do it yourself. Actually, probably yours haven't dropped yet, if I'm being honest, mate. But yeah, there you go. You start your channel and we'll all come across. Just drop me an email, tell me the name of your channel. We'll all come across and have a little look and judge it and tell you how great you're doing. Does that work? Cool. Right, so let's get into the poll I was going to ask, which now I've fucking forgot. What was it? Oh, yeah. Okay. 1 second. Right, so the question that I'm going to ask you as part of my shit content tonight is, would you take a point at Arsenal right now? If it was on offer, guaranteed point next weekend, would you take it, yes or no? You are old enough to retire. Well, I've only been at this 7 years now, so I definitely haven't. I tell you what, though, financially I'm not ready to retire, I can promise you that. You should retire if United win the Champions League. Yeah, I mean, I think I'll be going on there, like in the Wolverine, the latest Wolverine and what's his face? What's the name of the fucking film again? Deadpool, Wolverine. Yeah, I'll be going on till I'm 90. Dragging me out till I'm 90. What is retirement? What have I missed? Somebody asked me, am I still planning on or thinking about packing it up at the end of the season? And I just said, yes, I made a decision nearly, but I'm not going to talk about it until later on in the year, one way or the other. Because I've got some ducks to get sorted out in a row first. Apologies, look, again, someone talking about lagginess. I'm aware if there's been issues, mate, with some lagging, and I can only apologise. Yeah, I'm at the mercy of the weather and Sky's broadband. I would feel lost without this chat group. So would I, Justin. So would I, but I've always said one thing. I'm not going to be one of the guys that sticks around if the wheels start falling off the channel and it starts stagnating. I don't want to be one of the guys that hangs around past his sell-by date. So that's what I have to try and figure out. Do I love doing what I'm doing? Of course. You know, do I think this is something that has changed my life? Yes. But I've also got to be fair to everybody, and I don't want to be dragging people in here if people aren't still coming through to watch as much. I'm not going to hang around and just be a drain on everybody. I'll let the next Liverpool channel step up. Pull a Klopp and retire at the top. That's kind of what I want to do, Dino. I just don't know when the top is. You know, I don't know if I've hit my peak yet or if it's still to come. That's what I'm trying to figure out. It's just me. I hate Swans. I've never really given it much thought, mate, on the Swans one. So, I asked you guys a couple of minutes ago, and we'll leave this poll running until we finish up at 10:30. Would you take a point at Arsenal right now? So let's see what you think. I would. To be honest with you, away from home in London with the shenanigans I'm expecting, I'd take a point right now. I wouldn't take a point that the Etihad. I guess that's a sign of respect to Arsenal there, but I'd take a point at the Emirates next weekend. Not at home, but away I would. Scott said, you're far from the peak, Craig. I hope so. You know, sometimes I get a chip on my shoulder as well, because I look around and, you know, see the opportunities presented to others. And, you know, would you believe, even in Ireland, we have not had one article, one interview, anything about our channel. Not one Irish outlet has come near us for an interview, a piece on the channel, how successful it was, none of it. And sometimes it drives me mad, to be honest with you, because I feel like I must be rubbing people up the wrong way, or I must be coming across like an asshole. And that gets me down at times, because, you know, I've no problem if the channel doesn't do well if it's a level playing field, but a lot of the times I feel like it's not a level playing field and some factors working against you. So yeah, I don't know. Any news on Trent's contract? No. I can tell you that there's some growing ballsiness or optimism from the Spanish side of it, but I wouldn't be really putting much stock in that. I read an interesting piece on The Athletic today, though, speaking about Real Madrid's tactics overall in the transfer market in recent times. So I have to say, I think I think as each day goes by, I am getting more nervous about the Trent stuff. But no, not that I'm aware of any decision. I don't think there has been one made. Jat said, keep going, brother. You're not even in your prime. I hope not. No Liverpool channel's ever hit 1 million. And I wanted to try and be the one to get us to 1 million subscribers. Which kind of feels arrogant to say out loud. But I just want a Liverpool channel to do it. You know, it doesn't sit well with me that we've got, obviously, United channel on 1 million. An Arsenal channel on 1 million. Or upwards of 1 million, I should say. And no Liverpool one. I don't like that. Because we've got some great content creators, you know, between the Anfield Rap, ourselves, Redmayne, Coppish. There's some great people out there, and I don't know why we haven't had 1 million channel yet. Love from Rochester, New York. Thank you, Abel. Appreciate that, mate. Cunnas a thought to Tome Gamoch, DJ Wizard. So for anybody that isn't Irish, Cunnas a thought to means how are you? And Tome Gamoch means I am good, I am fine. Well, it means I'm good. Do you know what though? Speaking about all this stuff, I'm really looking forward to next month in Liverpool. You know, when we did our live show in Liverpool in August, it was absolutely amazing. Everybody that was there was so kind, and the venue was amazing, and the atmosphere was amazing. So to know we've got another show in Liverpool to look forward to next month, I'm buzzing about it. I'm not nervous about it. I'm just excited to be over there again and catch up with everybody at the live show. So if you can come and see us, you can get your tickets with the link at the top of the chat right now. As always, if anybody can come because of financial reasons or anything like that, email me behind the scenes and we'll sort that out. We've always gone out of our way to make sure the people who are suffering a bit of financial hardship can come along if they'd like to. We'll help with those tickets, no problem. But yeah, hope to see you guys there next month. I'm buzzing. Are there still tickets left? Oh god, yes. Yes. I'm not going to sit here and say it's close to selling out. It isn't. I think it's a 250-seater venue, and I think we're about half sold, which is great. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm over the moon with that. But no, there's definitely tickets left. 100%. David said, our fan base aren't terminally online like United and Arsenal fans. It's a weird one, though, isn't it? You know, we're a massive club around the world, and we've got some amazing content creators. Like, really, I think the Anfield Rap are the best content creators of any club on any platform with what they do. Huge fan, have been since they started, had a tall player subscription, always wanted to go on and do a podcast with the lads from the Anfield Rap. So, Neil, Gibbo, if you're watching, would love to have you guys on here. Would love to jump on there for a crossover episode as well. Big fan of what they do. And look, I've always admired that they took that leap as well, you know, to go full-time, professional, move into their offices. I've been rooting for them because I think they're brilliant at what they do. Jay said, I would need help but want to come. I'm off to America in 3 days, so I wonder if I can get some. See, is that not a bit of a weird contradictory type statement? I want to come. I'm off to America. Look, if you have any issues, mate, email me. And as I said, we're here to help people out. So just email me and we'll sort it out. Do I like Brennan's bread? I only really eat brown bread, brown soda bread, to be honest with you. I don't really eat white sliced pans or anything like that. So, yeah, brown soda bread for me. Scott said, I wish I were able to get over to the show. Totally understand your thoughts on coming back to America. It just sucks. It sucks for me as well, dude, because I love America, as I've said. So, yeah, I'd love to be able to just go to America, but I'm an impulsive person, so I like to book stuff and go or do it last minute a lot of the time, and I can't do that now, so it just kind of took the gloss off it for me. If we beat Arsenal next week, do you think they're out of the title race? So, in your scenario, I'm taking it we beat Chelsea tomorrow. So we beat Chelsea tomorrow, and that would give us 4 points on Arsenal. And then we play Arsenal next week. If we beat them, that's 7. I think the correct answer is to say no. But if it was us, I'd feel like we were out of it. So I guess I would edge to the side of yes, they'd be out of it. Now, it still doesn't mean they won't get close or they won't rein in some of those points, but they'd have to do it to 2 teams then. They'd have to catch City and us. So I would say that would... Yeah, I'd say that would rule them out of the title race. Personally, I would. If there was a 7-point gap there, I don't see them making that up over the course of a season, no. Hello, Giannis. Thank you for your super chat, mate, and thank you for dropping in. Appreciate you. Only 12 subscribers, by the way, left to go till we get to 277,400. So if you have a chance, please do hit that subscribe button. I'm going to finish up in about 10 minutes' time, so any questions you have, lash them into the chat. Also, don't forget to vote in our poll as well. Would you take a point at Arsenal right now if it was on offer, yes or no? What do I think of Lawrence McKenna? I've met Lawrence once, really briefly, at an event in London a few years ago. Just a polite, cordial hello, that was about it. I don't have thoughts on Lawrence because I don't know Lawrence. So, you know, obviously I know he's a Liverpool fan. I know he used to do stuff with Brian and True Geordie. But look, I don't know the man, so I wouldn't dare comment on what he's like. So... yeah, I think that I always try and be fair about these things, you know. Yeah, he always came across like a completely decent person when I've watched them, but you know, as I said, I don't know him. Craig, wish you come to Boston. I was ready for that event. Do you think you'll come back? It's just to do with the visa thing, mate. You know, the idea of having to apply for a 10-year holiday visa, go through a load of paperwork, go for an interview at the embassy in Dublin. It just seems a lot of ball ache for a holiday knowing that the ESTA system's there. It just really sucks. What I might do is, I am considering looking for... There's a particular type of visa, and I don't know how else to say this. I'm going to just put a rough name. There's an influencer type visa, where you can qualify for it if you excel at your industry. And the American Homeland Security agent recommended me to apply for this visa because she said she think I'd qualify for a visa. And if I got that visa, I'd be allowed, not only would I and my family be allowed to live and work in America, but anybody that works for Anfield Agenda or our company would also be able to come and live in America or visit in America at any point. So I think I'm more likely to look at that route. Because if it's the same amount of paperwork, if it's, you know, the same amount of ball ache, why wouldn't I go for the one that would mean I could live and work in America if I want? Because I'd love to go and live in America for a few years. Am I worried about Palmer? Of course. Yeah. I think if you said you're not worried about Cole Palmer with the great start he's had this season and his goal scoring form, you'd be a liar. But overall, I think we're a better side, so we just need to go and prove that tomorrow. Giannis said, we've got 2 big games coming up. I'm confident we win both. Up the Reds, keep up the good work, brother. We've got 3 games coming up, mate. Chelsea, Leipzig, Arsenal. The league games are the more important ones for me, if I'm being honest. But, I mean, mate, if we win both of these games... Wow. You know, imagine being top of the league, having beaten Arsenal away, United away, beat Chelsea at home then. It would be... I mean, I'd be dreaming at that point. I'd be thinking about the title. Craig, you've built this by telling it like it is. You would need to tame it down to get across to the club, and that's just not you. So... Isn't that sad though? You know what I mean? Like, I call out the club at times and the owners, and I do, and I'm aware of that, Bricktop, but I never go in on a personal level about anything to do with anything outside of football, and I only question the things that I really feel deserve to be questioned. So what I find it hard to stomach with there is, in the world in general, and I'm not just speaking about Liverpool here now, we need to make sure that there are dissenting voices. We can't have it so you only pander or answer to or give time to people who agree with everything you say and don't challenge you. That's not healthy. So my view on all of this has always been, yeah, the club are absolutely within their rights to keep us away from them if they want, but I don't think it's healthy. Because I think, especially when it comes to media, press, it's important that you're challenged. It's important that you're asked difficult questions because you're in a very powerful position. So yeah, look, I get it, but I'm not going to change. I can promise you that. All us Gooners are praying our rivals win tomorrow. I mean, I'd be the same in your shoes, mate. You know, I was really surprised at that loss today for Arsenal. Even when you got the red card, I thought you'd get a draw out of it at the very least. I even thought you might go and pinch it at one point. But yeah, surprised that you lost. You only question their cheapness. Exactly, Mary. You know, you never see me talking about Linda in a derogatory way. I call John cheap, but I don't go in on them in any other way. I'm not toxic. I just have a strong belief that I think they're cheap, and I don't believe they back the manager enough. And if that's enough to keep me on the outside, then so be it. But I'll tell you one thing. There's a lot of people that agree with what we have to say. There's a lot of people that have a similar mindset to me. There's a lot of people that feel the same, that it's very clear to get access to our club, you have to bite your tongue, to say the least. And that's not healthy. That's all I can say on it, really. Qatar buying the club would be a dream. Not for me. I don't want any state, whether it's Ireland, Qatar, Saudi, America. I don't want any state owning football clubs. I just don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's good for the leagues, and I don't think it's fair on the other owners who cannot possibly try to compete with an entire nation's wealth. If you had to pick one to let go in the summer, would it be Trent, Virgil, Salah? So we did this poll the other night, Finlay, and I'll give you my answer, but I'll also tell you the answer of the poll. 70% of people went with Mohamed Salah in your question. If you had to lose one, who would it be? And 70% of our poll, well, I think it was over 3,000 votes, went with Salah. I would agree, but I'd also want to caveat that by saying I want every single one of them three to stay for at least 2 more years. All of them. Trent 5, but the other 2 at least 2 more years. But if I had to, I think losing Virg would have the biggest impact on us at the moment. Losing Trent, you're losing a player coming into his prime. And I think as much as we all love and idolise Mo, I think most of us would agree his best days are behind him, but he still has a lot to give. So I think that's why I would say Salah. But again, it's just not... It's not a conversation I like having because I like all three. Lee said, not going to lie, I'd take Qatar. Right, so let me play a picture for you. Qatar buy Liverpool tomorrow. And Saudi own Newcastle. And the gloves come off. Let's say Man City get past all their charges and FFP is found to be unenforceable. What you then have is a pissing contest between Abu Dhabi, Qatar and Saudi Arabia. And there's only one winner in that, and that's Saudi, because they have a lot more money than those other countries. And that's all it would become. Who has the biggest bottomless pit and pile of money? That's not sport. So that's why I don't like the idea of any state, and this is not anti-Arab world or I don't like the idea of any country in any way being involved in football. I don't like it. It just doesn't sit well with me because that's all it will become, is just a pissing contest. And I don't think it's fair to other owners who have to try and run these things as a business and, you know, have that jeopardy, whereas they can't continue to lose money for a long period of time because they have unlimited funds. I just don't like it. What's my favourite colour? Probably black. Probably black. If I look at clothes, cars, I'm usually looking at black. I do love a really bright, luminous green though, or a really bright orange. And that's it. Like, it's so difficult when you have these conversations with people and you're saying, I don't want Saudi or I don't want Qatar. It's nothing to do with the people of Qatar or Saudi. It's and I know there is, don't get me wrong, I'm absolutely of the mindset that there has been and is some derogatory conversations around people from that part of the world. And I don't like it. I don't like it. And I would never be part of that. I just don't think it's right for sport. You know, and I've said this before. I couldn't imagine King Charles saying, I'm going to buy the LA Raiders and I'm going to use every penny that the British royal family have and put it behind the Raiders. And I just don't think that would sit well. And I don't think it would be allowed, of course, as well. So that's my point. And that's the fairest I can be. And I just don't think it's fair. Am I excited for Adidas next season? Let me say this, and please, everybody clip this and put it up to Adidas and tag them on X or whatever. If there is one man that deserves to be repping Liverpool Adidas stuff next year, it's this guy. Because I've been doing it all the way through the Nike era. I am Mr. Adidas. I am head to toe Adidas. Watch me outside. If you've met me in public, I would dare to say I'm wearing Adidas as well. So am I excited about Adidas coming back to Liverpool? Absolutely delighted. But also scared shitless. Because I'm going to be broke. I'm going to be broke. Because I'm going to end up buying so much Adidas Liverpool stuff that my wife is going to make me sleep on the sofa. So yeah, if anybody deserves some Adidas love, it's this guy. Imagine Michael D as an owner. Do you know what though? There are some owners I'd love. I like Steve Ballmer. I think he's an interesting character, and I've nothing against the billionaire coming in to buy us. Don't get me wrong, but just not a nation's wealth. An individual from anywhere in the world, no problem. Which Adidas logo? The trefoil one. Has to be. The one that was on the Arsenal kit today, the older Adidas logo. That is iconic to me. I love that logo. You were so excited when you found out, said Mary. Oh, honestly, Mary, I was. Because it was a dream. You know, I enjoyed New Balance. I enjoyed Warrior stuff. Some of it was mad, but I enjoyed it. I just haven't felt it. You know, sometimes in life, things just don't feel like a good fit. And Liverpool and Nike just never felt right to me. It just felt, it wasn't ours. The three stripes, that's Liverpool. And Umbro before that, but Liverpool are the three stripes. And for me, I'm so happy Adidas are coming back. And if those three leaked kits are true, I want all of them. Because they're all gorgeous. And as Nomad said there as well, most importantly, yes, I can't wait to buy all the retro kits. You know, being able to get the 88, 89 kit, 90 kit, 94 kit, 96 kit. All that stuff and the retro Adidas gear. Because look, you go into the club shop now and you see all the older shirts. Let's be honest, they're not the same without the Adidas logo and badges on them. So other than going and getting them off websites, it's going to be lovely to be able to buy legitimate retro Liverpool Adidas stuff. I'm buzzing. I still have my Adidas green away shirt with the stripes over the shoulder. 94. The Dean Saunders era, as I like to call it. And Razor Ruddock. I think of him in that era as well in that shirt. Craig Cross with Adidas. Do you know what? Nike never sent me a single free Liverpool shirt. And look, again, they've sent them to loads of other channels. They've invited loads of other channels in to do stuff with Nike. I've never got a fucking sniff off Nike. Not a sniff. And I don't care because I don't like them. But Adidas, I am that guy. So yes, if any Liverpool fan deserves a bit of an Adidas crossover, I'll name the whole studio the Adidas studio. I don't like that. I'm in. I'll tattoo it. I'll do the whole shebang. Adidas. Did I like the Warrior kits? Do you know what? I did, mate. Yeah, I did. Because I love a mad third kit. And Warrior had some crazy third kits. So yeah, I did. I love them. I'd never heard of them, by the way, before they started making our kits. And then I found out, obviously, that they were more into doing, what's that sport called? Lacrosse and stuff. Then I found out that they were a Boston-based company, obviously part of the New Balance family. And then that made sense, obviously, with FSG and their Boston roots. Right, I'm going to say goodnight. I'll see you all tomorrow, 3:15 for the watch along. Hope you can join us for it. Again, thank you to everyone who was in tonight. Drop a like for me before you head off, and I will see you wonderful people tomorrow for 3:15 for the kickoff. Talk to you then.